Okay, hello, beautiful souls, whoever is right now tuning in to that live I'm offering, or maybe those who will just listen to the replay. So, because I see now I'm live, and I'm just greeting you all here, whoever is taking the time to just join me. And today I was really guided to share on this beautiful day about the connection to our heart, the connection to ourself, relation to ourself and then to others. And this is a very important, beautiful topic. Of course, it's a really expansive topic, but first of all, to say there is a really beautiful perfection once again behind all of those topics being shared on the perfect timing. And therefore I want to just bring in a small intro, and that intro is regarding that today we have the 22nd, which is as well, some of you might know, the feast day of beautiful Mary Magdalene. So there is another beautiful symbolic around the heart, and as well today the retrograde, Venus retrograde, is starting for the next few weeks. So as you see, everything since the beautiful 777 portal, when actually the softening was starting with our next layer of the heart expansion, as well the new moon of Cancer opened up again a process to much more connect now with those emotions. So actually it cracked open a little bit more the next layer of our beautiful heart. And again, what does a retrograde then actually represents? It represents that we pause in that section, in which is then that planet retrograde. So it would be then now Venus. So this means we pause with the beautiful topic of love and relationship, as Venus is for that. Yeah, so even beauty, self-love, everything regarding that will be now in the front of our process in the next weeks, towards actually even, I would say, end of August, begin of September. So it's a really intense, powerful time to now start. If you couldn't, if you were not able, if you suppressed it, if you wanted it just to delay, that now it's really the time that we start to look what is there in our hearts. What is this where I just maybe can't still in a healthy way relate to myself, maybe even feel that I'm not worthy to be loved, to be seen, to feel that love, and like that thinking that I can't attract love in me and of course into my life. Okay, and that's why it's everything pointing out now to our emotional memories, whatever been stored in the heart. And this can be, of course, not just what we experienced as a individual, but as well what did we receive from our parents, what did we brought from our soul memories from previous lifetimes, that it's still just here and wants to be actually offloaded. And why should we actually offload this now? And this is also something which being clearly said today or shown today for me before I tuned into this life from my team or my higher self, is that it was actually a way of destruction. Because if we are overloaded in our hearts with the emotions, what someone else did to us, that we suffered, that we were not loved, that we had this unrequited love, that we had separations, and everything was so heavy regarding love and relation, self-ships and with others, that actually we couldn't even feel anymore that there is this eternal source of love, which is as well the source of creation. And now imagine how much energy and focus we were, basically, I will even say it like that, we're losing by just focusing constantly about the others who are attached then to those memories, emotional memories in our hearts. I hope I could say this now in a very simple way, because I want for those lives just bring a bit more the depth, the necessities, the importances, but in a really simple language, yeah, so that everyone can actually use that for themselves in daily life. So imagine that we were constantly putting our creation energy into the work with just dealing with others. And just take this in for a moment. Dealing with others. That's a huge, massive distraction of not able to be able to tap into your own source and start to become that sovereign, beautiful, powerful creator who knows what you want, who knows what you're planting through your heart. Yes, through your heart. But if we are overloaded with all of those incredible stories we had with so many people, then we never really feel that incredible self-source of our own love. That's a main message today. And at the end of this transmission, I'm gonna as well bring through, not just because it's her day, but I can feel them since yesterday, the divine feminine aspects wanna really support us with this soothing of the heart, and I can tell you already a few which are here, and those few are actually Mary Magdalene, Guan Yin, and as well Lady Nada, and yeah, there will be some more of the divine feminine coming through. But just to tell you, it's truly important that we understand that there are so many ideas storaged and that emotional memory storage in our heart, yes, which are basically really on a base of illusion. We heard it, we saw it, we believed it, and suddenly it started to cover more and more and more of our beautiful heart space. And some of that are, for example, and I know this is huge, I am not worthy. And think about why you wouldn't be worthy to be loved. Well, the other person is more advanced. Well, my partner is already, I don't know, a starseed and I'm still on the ground. That's all illusions. Why? Because we are comparing each other with roles. But are roles bigger, stronger than our core being a divine spark of God's source, whatever you want to call that? Is it truly overpowering that each of us, if we put off those roles, those masks, those versions of different clothes we are wearing, yeah, we put them all off, we all are then the love. So when you are caught in that kind of idea, I'm not worthy of love, can't you see, I'm constantly being declined, he's not replying to my love, he's not even taking, or she's taking notice that I love her, and so on. Again, are they our suppliers for love? It's an idea, it's a program, and that program kept us basically separated from our own love, because we made it from that other outside from us, kind of that they are our reply, that they are giving us basically that love. But that's a huge illusion. You know why? Because when you are in love, They are just there, and they are actually the one who are with you experiencing that love. But they are not giving you that love that you think that that's why you're in love. Okay, so this means what is happening is they just come in with the same frequency, and if two same are basically falling in love, it's an amplifying of your own inner love source. Please take this in. It's just an amplifying, and that's why it feels stronger. And that's why we think, ooh, this person is actually the one giving me that love. And then when this person decides, I don't know, we are not for each other anymore, and goes its own way, what happens? You feel, because you leaned on the idea that they were giving you the love, and suddenly you feel, oh my God, my heart is broken, I don't feel love, I'm so sad, I'm in separation, and so on. So on what kind of basis did we actually build relationships in the 3D? That's actually the first main question to our own self. So this means we were everything attaching to the outside. And what does this happen? What does it create? We're going away from us. And then of course, if something changed in the outside, mother, father, brother, sister, whoever was there giving us that kind of comfort, that supply of love, and when they leave, of course we feel broken, empty, not wanted. Yes? So this is actually what wants to be released from our hearts. Those illusionary programs. And I'm not saying, and please truly, you shouldn't say this to yourself, it's not our fault. It is something how the 3D programs were just running in the 3D dense version of experience. That's all. We are not as well denying the pain we felt, denying the sadness, denying. No, this was a true experience, like everything. Like you see the sun, it's your experience. You see the sun. You feel the pain, it's your experience. Yes, the pain is there. But now we are having truly the opportunity, as I was saying, since this massive window, particularly on the 777 gate, now in July, opened up a huge, massive portal to those inner waters in our heart. Yes, the emotions, almost like it cracked it with its softness a bit out, or it opened it. So this means it's more accessible, because imagine how many have those traumas and stored in their hearts, like the trauma starting from mother doesn't love me, father is not present, or opposite, or so many times the partner just basically, I don't know, cheated on me, all sorts of stuff which we connected then, how we continuously living relations, also to ourselves. Because if something like that happens in the outside, we as well use it towards ourselves. Think about that as well. So this means if the parent was always saying that be aware, something can happen, don't trust anyone. How many of us did hear that? Because, you know, they wanted to take care of us and to be safe. But there is already a seed planted. Don't trust anyone. And suddenly we already start to walk with a shell around the heart and meeting different people, even friends. Can I trust them? I knew I can't. And suddenly they deceive us. So it's not that something is wrong or something was wrong that we experienced those different experiences, but they were really there to just feel what actually isn't a love which is not conditioned, but it was all conditioned, all conditioned. And as we are now shifting into a higher consciousness state, imagine we have to empty our vessel, our emotion, our thought forms to make space for new, completely different experiences. And we cannot bypass it to say, oh, here I actually still not trust fully love. I can't trust my partner fully because still maybe he could behind my back go with someone else. But I am in the 5th dimensional realm and I'm actually a awoken being. You're lying to your own self. And everything is now being highlighted, like the word is saying. It's the light is shining on our own self, in our own hearts, in our own shadows, in our own, where did we actually betray ourselves. So this means it's not the fault of no one, not of father, mother telling me all those stories, not of the person who 10 times cheated on me. I didn't say it was beautiful. I didn't say this, but I say that truly, where did we betray ourselves, lie to us, that we actually in the outside been with the same vibration attracting this experience. And if we have now all of these ideas, memories within our heart space, and imagine now that one by one it's work. That's why we have now many weeks, even years if we want time to really clear ourselves up and to open for a new experience. So imagine that you're now putting away that I'm now fully trusting myself. And if I'm trusting myself as a divine consciousness being, you carry now a new, and you really embody and feel that, not just say it and then like, okay, everything will be fine. But that's work. I'm getting to the core where I didn't trust no one, and also then like that, not myself, that I get to that point and then I really say, okay, whew, not easy, but I'm now shining the light on it and embracing that shadow where it was just an unawareness. Because all of this beautiful ascension path is nothing else than bring new consciousness, new awareness to those shadow parts. And we are more and more enlightening them, and more and more and more, yes, becoming then that enlightened being, conscious being, 5th dimensional, 20 dimensional being. It doesn't matter. That's the journey. The journey is actually experience, but it's also work. Because if you don't work on your own self, you're not meeting yourself. You don't know then yourself. And if you don't know yourself, how shall then the ones who are so close to you see you for truly who you are? With all your beautiful gems, which are so hidden behind those layers of pain, sadness, everything, grief, and so on. So that's actually where we are exactly now, in the process, in the next weeks, since basically July and the whole August and even a little bit more, yes? So we're basically working on those emotional shadows where we denied ourselves, thinking that we are not love. Because with every fear of being actually loved, or I am loved, fear being rejected, fear of being cheated, fear of being, I don't know, separated from the dearest or lose them, that's all shadows where is not love. Okay, I hope I could say this really in a most simple way, because that's my aim, that I just highlight for you, because we're all together in it. I'm also working 24/7 every day. I'm working on that, because again, if you did already a lot of work on your own self, you know what happens. You go then actually into service for the collective. So you're not waiting there as, oh, I did already the work and those guys will maybe come in a few years later after me. You're not waiting. Through becoming more conscious, through releasing more of those, not releasing, I'm refraining, to enlightening those shadow parts, they become potential, and you become more mature, spiritual, emotional, and then indeed you are a light shower. And as you are, you're then actually becoming the one who are then, like I said, not standing here and waiting. Then you start to work actually for everyone, because it's popping up in the collective field, from the neighbor, from the mother, from the father, and so on. And you actually still work then consciously and actually constantly with all of that. And like that we are supporting each other. All of us we are supporting. So more we are daring to meet ourselves without thinking, I'm so ashamed that I still don't, I don't know, that I don't feel myself, that I feel I'm not worthy of love, that I feel that I can't do the step. Even here is my beautiful divine partner waiting in front of my face and I can't do it. Just breathe and then really know. There is no failure. It's just that you need a little bit more time, a little bit more gentleness. And some are faster and some are slower. We are not on a race, but we are together in that collective field. Yes, we are. So this means that you don't feel, just because today you couldn't face that grief, that sadness, pain, what I'm reading here, it doesn't mean that you still didn't master it or you can't do it. But sometimes we have days we are a little bit more, let's say, in an energetic, powerful state, and sometimes less. And even this is a perfection. And you know why? Because if we would be too powerful constantly, that's a very tricky one with our mind, with our ego, that actually we would rather choose not to feel that. And we would fast shift it with our mind and say, you know what, I actually rather go out and go to a party and maybe get drunk or maybe get high or whatever I would then say, or just watch movies all the night to distract myself to not feel. And that's also something which I think many know that, and it's actually just in all of the collective field, the denying and the rather running away to not feel and rather numb yourself because it's too much. And again, I want to point out, we are not judging ourselves that maybe today or maybe in the next 3 days or 1 month we can't deal with it and we choose to numb ourselves, however. But we will not be able to run for a long time anymore from ourselves. And that's as well a message that use that consciousness, that light coming, pouring daily into our collective field. Use it, use those triggers from everyone you feel right now, and it's gonna become surely stronger because it's pointing out where actually these unconscious shadows are calling, look at me and free me. So don't be unaware around that even those shadow parts in us are actually wanting to be constantly just in the darkness. they don't. You know why? Because they want to become one with us. That's potential parts of our own selves. So use that time that you understand that working with yourself is really starting to strengthening your core bond with your own self. When you strengthen this core bond with your own self, you will stop projecting and trying to become or even to compare yourself with others. And when we stop to compare ourselves with others, then slowly we can start to become more those unique, authentic, beautiful, divine, perfect beings, however we've been created. So this means you don't need, if the neighbor's already joking now, but Jesus walking, yes? If you don't feel you're there yet, it's not a failure. You deal with your own self, with your own, whatever those emotions are there. And sometimes it takes longer. Just reading question, consciously aware of them. Yeah, this is what I said before. So first step, when we see now there is a shadow part, for example, enormous sadness, we are actually taking that moment, again, stop numbing, stop running away from that, because we are aware it's there, but we are good with suppression. So we are going there without needing to fear that something will now happen, because there our mind is a construct which wants to protect us, that we basically will not freak out if we go there. So know and calm your mind. You can, meditate, just really breathe deeply, because like that you can really relax your body systems. And when you're more relaxed, you put out a clear intention. I now choose to go into that space where I'm aware that there is this huge sadness and pain. Yes, that's the first step. And I'm completely in the light and love. I am protected that I can go there and look now at my sadness. Nothing else will happen. But I'm now ready, carried by that love and light, that I am now strong enough to just look at it. And when I look at it, really look deeper, because you're going to start to understand and see that there's really not any power behind that. And that's what I'm saying. These are all stories. But before we are not getting to the bottom of the story, you know how it is when we hear those myths from, I don't know, there was a powerful, king, yeah, and he was so powerful. And maybe if we would go back to the story, we would see it just a fantasy. And it's the same with what we ever experienced. Because trust me, and no, you don't need to trust me, but have your own experience with it, that how many times you were afraid to maybe go somewhere, or go on a stage, or talk the first time in front of an audience, or go the first time with a plane to a place you don't know, and you were almost in panic and oh my God, and when you arrived it wasn't that huge as you thought. So this is also something which our mind is fantastic to build up huge spaces and stories. But is it bigger than the source we are? Or is it really the source we are, that love, light we are, not the most powerful, which can transmute anything? So start to become more and more familiar with what you are feeling and what you are thinking. And often, this is for sure something you experience, they won't be aligned. they won't be. Yeah, so sometimes maybe you feel, okay, I could make it, but no, the mind is telling me, no, 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 you can't. And suddenly this changes into fear instead of love. But if we align and actually introduce the mind that, hey, mind, come on, you are part of this source I am. You're not just there, someone actually projecting your own stories into the field, and then I have to go with you and feel like that, but that we are together, things can change. And I know it's now a lot. I will try to cover as much as possible, because this is then being in training with your own self, like every day, hey mind, hey heart. Because I can sit here now with you and explain you so many things, but if you are not taking actions as the sovereign adult being you are, even if you have core wounds with your inner child, you are now the adult, and start to work with your own self. Because that work with your own self, again, will strengthen the bond with your being, which is then the core self. So it will strengthen you with the source. And when you're strengthened and the bond is strong with your core, then it doesn't matter if tomorrow someone tells you, I can't love you because whatever, you know, whatever they say from the outside, it won't matter to you. So it won't be that you're becoming now a cold stone, no, but you will become so aware and so mature on your pathway that you will understand that you shifted out of this looping same experience that other are, I don't know, declining, this, how you say, sometimes my English words disappearing anyway, that they're pushing your love away, or that they need to hurt you, or whatever it is. You will shift the experiences by meeting those parts in you which are constantly being projected on your journey in life in the outside, and that's why you're constantly having just the same experience. So it's not their fault, it's not your fault, but it's time to start to find that relation, that bond with yourself. And again, on the beginning of this life, I said, it's hard because it's overloaded with emotional memories, experiences. And now it's the time, it's really now. Not because I'm saying, because everything is pointing it out, the stars, the astrology, the portals, everything is pointing out that we now can, in a faster way, clear those emotional memories. And like that, open our heart to a more healthy, vibrant state again. And this will then connect us with our higher guidance, with our intuition, that you just will know that it's a lie if someone says, you know, you're not good enough to be, even that you're saying it to yourself, good enough to be with this person in a relationship. That's actually more than, yes, I hear the word, more than insane to say that. How can love you are, and this love which it is, that divine and that divine, be not good enough to meet each other, to walk the path? Because they're rich and you're not, because they're politician and you're from a village, because they, I don't know, the parents are from this religion and you're from that. We are clearing massively those ideas, what we've once called relations are, or how relations should be, or what is love. We are clearing basically the conditioned love version with self and others, because we are moving into love which was never in its core condition, never. And when we wake up this higher consciousness through our heart, by finding that truth back, that's essential truth, then life can start to shift. Then we can start to completely operate as co-creators, because till then you're still caught in a victim state. Everything which is still as a condition in this beautiful heart space made you believe that you're a victim. And belief is then actually the construct of reality. So if we feel then different, then we start to believe different, and then life starts to show each other to us different. Yes, so it's all connected. And that's why it was so important to somehow, not just come on and share this again. It's also like a beautiful remembrance, or that I'm just reminding us, you again, that just don't fear to start to work with your shadow parts, with your emotions, with your traumas. Yes, some can be very deep-rooted, but how many times you stop on a bicycle before you then really start to natural cycle? So this means it's not just because one time I didn't get to the core yet that we give up, and then we just stay in the same stagnation, and then we still cry why I don't feel love, why I'm not loved, why nothing in my life is love and harmonious. No one's fault, just that you take action for your own self. So don't actually put all this attention on this terrible mother, terrible father, terrible boss, terrible partners, because how can we have the energy to still not just have energy, but to still have time to work with ourselves if we are constantly occupied by everyone else but not ourselves? It is as well a beautiful mechanism of bypassing, because it's easier to basically concentrate on others, what they all did to us. It's easier to survive the pain, to concentrate on all of those others who did something to us. Yes? But again, at some point of our journey, no matter what the mind will say now, it's hard to accept, we planted that experience, either past life, either family, ancestral lineage, whenever. But again, how can we be so sure about that we didn't want that at all? Or can we accept that the soul did in advance pointed experiences out which wants to be experienced on this journey? Because the soul is here just to experience different versions of the divinity expressed in different colors, situations, different ways. That's the soul. But the human, yes, let's say the identity of the ego, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to feel this now. I don't want to feel that. Don't trigger me. I want to stay just on the same point. Can we then really say we are growing, that we are expanding? Or will we then say in 10 years later, it's all so terrible, but didn't you say you're so comfortable in this position? Think about this too. So when we mature, yes, we're starting to take responsibility. It's almost like the child will say, it's their fault. When we're an adult, but I'm talking here about spiritual adult, conscious adult, then we will start to take the responsibility. That somewhere I engaged, somewhere I didn't say stop, don't do that anymore to me. Somewhere I didn't put the healthy boundaries and being deciding for myself, it's enough, I go now, or I choose now different. But we need to come to that point. So this means out of being still that victim, child, helpless, into becoming that discerned, conscious, sovereign being. And here in between is the gap. And you know what's the gap? The work. Exactly the work. Is it uncomfortable to feel suddenly again this pain which my father gave me when I was, I don't know, 6 years old? Yes, it's very hard. But I look into the eyes of my own experience and I embrace it now with purest love and making space now, and I release it into my whole potential space and make now space for something new. And I can say whatever I find as tools within me, I can say, Father, I forgive you for this experience, but I also forgive myself for my own unawareness till this now moment that I wasn't aware that actually my soul decided to have this experience. So you see, it can shift, because what holds us in those pain memories is just that you can't forgive that helplessness in those moments, but transform the helplessness into just unawareness. I wasn't aware. I wasn't conscious enough. And that's the only part you have here to forgive yourself. That I wasn't at that moment conscious enough, because I would maybe choose then different outcomes, different choices, make different choices. Yes? So this means that's the work. That we are not concentrating full force on the stories themselves. So this means there are many hard stories. I've been raped, I've been left from father, mother, I've been abused in emotional, mental way, whatever. Yeah? Many, many, many heavy things, emotional, we experienced through time. But that we are not stuck on the situation, so this means on the people who did that, on the circumstances, whatever the memory holds it together. But I'm just now, one by one of these stories, releasing by just forgiving myself and those involved for being not conscious in those moments. And as we are growing now in the consciousness, in the oneness, I am now free to choose completely new, different, even I hear timelines, different outcomes, different experiences. I am free, but I'm only the moment free, the moment I can forgive and just release it. You will be stuck forever if you are just seeing the people inside and hold to them forever, those who cheated, who hated you, who did so many things, or you to others, the guilt you're carrying within you, till you will not be able to really transform that by the higher consciousness, seeing it, that it was only an unaware act. I wasn't aware enough. I didn't have enough consciousness. That's why this creation was actually as it was. Yes, not light, not not aligned creations, but it was as it was. But now I'm more aware, now I'm more conscious, and that's why I can create them different. But again, beautiful souls, we can't go on and say we are now in a fifth dimensional world or state if we're still carrying that within our heart space. And that will come up now, that will rise up now. Whatever we didn't look at yet, can be childhood trauma, can be previous relationship, can be all sorts of traumatic feelings. Maybe you're haunted by some past life memories. But when this rises up within you, know that you're not there anymore when this happened, but you are now already more matured, more adult, more spiritual, more conscious being, and from there meet that part, from there. So not from that day, from that years back, from those childhood moments that you're still that child meeting that part, because then you're not able to embrace that part, because there you're still helpless, there you're still in too much pain. So meet every single emotion which will now start to rise. You didn't deal with it yet. Meet it from the moment of the now. Who are you now? Because now you're more equipped, now you're more conscious, and now you can much more easier, as this bigger version, meet that part of you. Okay? So this is very important as well. So, anything else? Yes, one more thing before we go into the transmission. That loving unconditional means loving without judgment. So this means if we really are rising in our consciousness with the love we are, and you kind of catch yourself that you still may be picking a little bit on your partner or on your brother or sister or mother or friend, just stop for a moment and think about why I just don't accept them as they are. Because actually then I'm trying slowly to build up more and more that foundation for higher divine love, which is unconditional. So when we are in those moments of, he did this again, she did that again, just stop for a moment and then, see them as a whole. And if you see them as a whole, as they are, with their flaws, with their strangeness, with whatever it is, then we're starting to accept them. And you know what the effect will be? They will start to accept us as well. And we're going to start to build new ways of relationships. Because we will not go into details where something is still wrong with them. And they're going to say the same with us. But we're going to really start to see them as whole. That's full acceptance. And that's the same with our shadows, with our pains, with our wounds. I didn't ever fail. I didn't ever decide something wrong. It was where I was with my consciousness. And now I can accept myself with the shadows, with my flaws, with all I am. And it starts to give you an inner empowerment, all right? And that empowerment is exactly what everyone needs now. Not to actually someone hits your head even more to say, you see, you still didn't learn this and that. This is not serving anyone. We're staying in the loop. So what serves is actually to empower self, and like that we're empowering the others too. I know that you still can't, I don't know, give up your addictions or something. I know you're still very scared of love and to dive deeply with me in oneness. But that's starting to hold the space for each other in this beautiful ascension pathway of perfect divine timing, of opening us more and more up to the true self who we are. We need space for it. But if there's constant judgment, we can't even breathe and have a moment of allowing ourselves, yeah, but the truth is that I am still scared. And we like that give the space to become honest to self, honest to the others, and in that space we are holding each other, and then the acceptance comes in, then the love, the truly unconditional, that we don't condition love under any circumstances anymore. We're just accepting each other on this amazing, unique pathway we are on. And that's basically all. And I know the mind would like to do so much more, because the mind is sometimes faster or can see, but he could do this already or do that. But do we truly see the soul of this being? Maybe he needs another round to basically smash on the ground, that he realizes now it's enough of self-destruction. And I know it's hard. I mean, so many times in this situation myself, where I would love to run, that he doesn't need to smash on the ground or have this hard experience. I can see it. But then in those moments, if you're as well in those moments, I'm pulling back myself out of these other stories from their experiences, and I go, you know where? Into the trust. I trust that he, she is as well a divine source, and he or she will figure out. So I can trust then myself that he will be actually fine. So this means through getting back to me, that I stay in the source because I know they're fine. I'm as well like that, giving the support. And again, sometimes we will not be able, but more you remind yourself, these are tools. All of this, what I'm sharing here, are tools you can use. Because sometimes we would like to protect all those we love, without knowing that maybe their soul needs that for their growth, that later on there will be powerhouses because of that experience, which we didn't take away, because we would like to take it away, that they're not hurt. Yes. So, and that's then as well acceptance to self, acceptance to others, and as well, yes, one more word, key word, compassion. And compassion is also something which helps us to see the others in their, I don't want to even say anymore, flaws, or in their hard situations, in their unawareness, knowing that at some point we as well being in those unaware moments, unaware situations. Yes, so this means, again, no judgment, but try to transform that judgment into compassion, into holding space, into love which is unconditional. And these are, yes, values, qualities which we are going to use when we are more and more building that space of the new earth consciousness. Yes? Without those qualities, we will be just wounded children who can't hold each other, who can only judge or hide from each other. Yes, so it's really important. Get back to your own work, because this is now actually the quality in the consciousness field, for the collective field, to do that inner work. whatever the trauma is, again, you are now from here meeting it. You are now more conscious than you've been when you've been a child, when you've been in that moment of abuse or in that pain and separation. You are now here. And from here, you're meeting it. From here, you're embracing that part, releasing it, forgiving it, and transforming it into new potential. Because it will give you strength. It will give you more awareness about yourself, more self-respect if you didn't respect yourself before by putting any boundaries, by saying no. You see, in all of that are then exactly the opposite beautiful qualities, the gifts. Okay. Good. I feel they're starting to come in. So we're going to go now in the second part into the transmission. Those who are tuning in the first time, I am as well a multidimensional quantum healer, channeler, since all my life, basically early age, but as well long time, so many lifetimes, different versions of myself. And this allows me just to basically tap into different consciousness fields. We would say now different beings, different states, like for example, if I say Mary Magdalene, if I say Guan Yin, these are actually energetic consciousness qualities, yes, which of course we can perceive, we can feel or even see, but actually it's a vibration, yes, and I can just tap in and bring this then in for us and for this beautiful healing. And today, as the topic is already saying, with the heart and with the relation to self, it's gonna, yes, support the easier, yes, they're saying compassion and easier release and acceptance of self, that you can start to go through those layers into your own source of the love you are. Okay? Whew. So if you wish, you can place your hand on your heart, and I'm bringing that in as through light language. Light language is, for those who are not aware or not familiar with it, it's actually the language of oneness. All of the souls, all of the hearts understand it because it's vibration, and we are not processing it through the mind. Yes, that's basically light language. So it's through time and space understood. So I'm going to bring in now the codes, calling in all of the divine mothers, yes, for this transmission for the heart. And starting firstly, yes, Mary Magdalene coming in, yes, very beautiful pale pink frequency. And you just basically stay open with your heart, and you're gonna start to feel or receive it on your own particular way. Shiriya tanakata a, tenk ushuru alaya shakitni tarata aya, enktiri tanakarato shorakea, ana ea sanataya koshoayata, teina karata e kuruashatina yakanayokua. Honoring your own self is accepting your own self. Shanayika, Shinarata e kuyutu nushurata eata, enk inurua, Sheriata rakiato shana a. And she's gently starting to enter in your heart space. Shinarakitu ala kiatara a. They can see like different darker spaces of the heart, like almost crusts and wounds. Shawalai kanata ea, shanataya kia, like she would put on not just overlay, but it's almost like a regeneration of this heart space parts. Shaina katorua, tenaya kualaya shatak antia, oriata shanakiata a. Shuru alla yata shanakiata anna eata shakina tarakeata ashna tarakea sheatia tana a. Yeah, she said all the hearts will reunite and like that create the new earth, which we call, yes, Gaia, Shana A Terra, Ashna Kerata, Shekina Aya, O Kuyantana, Shaketia Nakeata, Orayata, Ea, bringing in the holy waters to purify your heart space. Shia Narakuala ya Kuala Kia Shata A. Shanarayana Kia Shanakiata A. To gently let all just flow through, almost like you clear the waters, clear the emotions, clear those stories, those hooks, freeing you for pure true love to be felt again. Shinara kanta nasha aquanataria kata a. Shikuria nashana iya. And then now including all of your bodies. Ashanti antana. Shaiya iya kora tanna tora kashiana. Ek itrata a. Lemurian codes coming in. Yes, the Lemurian collective. As we are restoring as well the collective field as a oneness nation, they say. Shinakaya shata aro totoya nakiata. Shikuriata nashanata aqua. Entia ayata shetukwa. Eriata nakaya tokwariata sana aya. Shoruriata rakiata ratoshnatu ua. Yes, and the network will be rebuilt again with the strings of pure love. And then they are now as well connecting it with the dragon, emerald green dragon grit they're showing me. Connected with the earth love, they saying. Almost like strengthening your earth love. Very interesting. Yes, and as well, they're saying they're also healers of the heart too. That's why they stepped forward as support, assistance. A lot been worked on your self-love, which is as well the back of your heart. Ooh, kanasha tarekana. Ooh, this was beautiful. Akniyatra. Aknashnatana yatosharu nakaya. Now they're coming, yes, golden coats in. Gold, yes, to start to glow from inside out again, because the heart will become the main center, the main chakra system, as all these chakras will at some point, future point, yes, on our timeline, become one, and you will glow only through the heart. Golden codes coming in. And this helps as well opening some more parts of your sacred chambers. The higher sacred heart has 33 chambers. Some are open, some not yet. Full of potential. Yes, more joy for the hearts. More joy. Rainbow codes from this is coming outside of our universe. Parallel. Yes, coming in as well. The dolphins. Helping you with the higher sacred heart. So means for the higher divine hearts to be more anchored, which is much more joyful, expansive. And they say, yes, It never was conditioned. Ashaya natareto, ikitata la kushna tarekena o o kurutoto fei. Fei coming in, which is inviting you. Yes, the connection with the Fei elementary is as well the new earth connection. As they as well guardian of the new earth. Yes, soothing and love for your heart. Yes, and I feel she will come in now. And she will be, yes, the codes for compassion and Guan Yin. Oh, yandik airi agnashna ilekuna ikwa ntasna nekina na halwele shenale kinale kula hakdishna nekiatra kwa a tushuni na la halakatosh nuria kana ea tanashna kuri kana shenarwele kana halwele kanituru senk inashna here akana uare ekianata taking self-judgment away. Meeting yourself in compassion, with compassion. Because nothing is more precious than your heart. Being compassionate with self, compassion with your heart. Will be the first foundation for new earth embodiment, because it's gonna bring more freedom in your hearts, and like that as well the interaction with others in pure freedom, peace and compassion. This will help you with transmuting the judgment into acceptance. And this will change your eyes. Your eyes will start to become the eyes of your heart. Eternal wisdom. This is, through time and space, through many, races, many generations, through many consciousness states, we are familiar with this deep essential wisdom, that only in pure acceptance we can meet the divinity and see the divinity in the other. Yes, and Lady Nada from Venus, together with the beautiful Rose sister, which is Mary Magdalene. They're now together, embracing you, but as well your heart. I can see you as a whole, they're embracing you with pure roses and the scent of roses. So you can start to recognize, to feel, to see, to know your own precious scent of the divinity within your heart again. And the rest being released, released, released. Yes, walk in love which isn't conditioned. So it is. Transmission completed. Grateful for this beautiful transmission. May it serve you well. And again, it doesn't matter what you think that you felt or you didn't felt. We just now created together exactly these informations within your heart, because understand Some are more receptive, some are less, but nothing been passed by, but each of these codes went into your beautiful heart space. This be assured. Yes, because we are multidimensional and there is no limitation how energy is traveling. Yes, so we anchor this right now together, and I'm grateful for all of you who've been here to receive that on this beautiful special day of the Mary Magdalene Day, feast day. And as well, shall this help you now with this Venus retrograde, where will be just called to work with your beautiful heart space, with all of the emotions which will raise, to just meet more and more of your beautiful self. There's nothing else to be fearful of. You are meeting your own self through this emotional process, through this mental process, even through the physical process, if you have any kind of issues or, yes, pain, because all is connected. Okay? So I hope that this serves you for the highest, best and good on your beautiful journey. And thank you for being here with me on this precious day to work with our precious, beautiful hearts. So much love to all of you, and yeah, just pure love. We are in oneness. Don't fear to meeting yourself through the process. Okay, much love to you from Slovenia and me, Gaby Nara.